So next, the next question, this one you can answer rather quickly. Do you have a classical singing background as a solo artist?
Me personally, no. I don't have a classical, and I can actually really be the horror movie from your all because I don't have any singing education at all. I have been touring and singing for all my life. I've been doing. I have had the voice hurting sometimes after singing. I was a smoker, so when you smoke, vocal cords sleep, so you can keep on singing without noticing all the bad things you're doing to them. And I got a reality a wake up when I decided to become a singing coach. I actually took a first lesson in singing because my mom is a professional singer as well. Well, much bigger than much before me, and my mom had this offered class in London with a very famous star coach, and she said, "You always dreamt of having a singing lesson, Dida. I give you this singing lesson." So I come to London, very happy. I got my dad paid the train, and I'm going to this star. And I come in, and he's sitting behind the piano. He's like, "Hi, do you have a casting?" And I'm like, "No. Are you used to singing?" "Yeah, that's that's how I live." "Okay. Um, so you don't have any casting?" I'm like, "No. I just want my first singing lesson ever. I'm looking forward to this. Woo!" And he goes like, "What are you singing?" I'm like, well, take a song from a musical. I'm like, okay, so I took Miserable on my own. And I sang, he started playing, really not nice, huh? Bling, 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 bling. Uh-huh. You never had singing lessons. I'm like, no, do it again. Blang, 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 blang. Okay, well, all I can say to you is don't change. You found it already. When you don't sing jazz, loosen your jaw. Thank you, bye. And I came out of there crying my head off. I was like, "Wah!" And my mom was like, "What's wrong? What did he say?" He said he couldn't help me. He said I should just loosen my jaw, and he didn't want to teach me anything. And she's like, "Are you aware that this famous guy who helps people through castings just told you not to change anything?" "No, he didn't change me." I was like, I just thought he would do something, I thought singing technique was woo, but I already found it myself. I found it until what I needed, right?
Right.
But then when I started looking for a pension plan because I wanted to do something like when I'm 70 and you guys don't want to see me sing anymore. So I found the Complete Vocal Institute and I went there just for a 1 week course, which is what Philip and I do now around the world. Um, and I heard about singing technique and they taught me, and I was just like, if I had known that, I would be a Retta Franklin. I could have been because I didn't know all these things you could do with your voice. I didn't know that I didn't have a voice limit. I didn't know that I could sing all the pitch I wanted. I didn't know that what I was doing was really good. I didn't know. So I asked to become a vocal coach, and I got accepted and took and then I was gonna teach when I was 70, but it's been such a passion, so now I do it all the time. So yes, I don't have any background. I sing classical as well, and I not within the laws of the job, but I sing it in the way I want it to sound. But I teach classical because that is in our education also how to teach classical singers. So I'm not talking.
I think the it was great, very informational, very thanks for sharing all of that. Something that came to mind was okay, which a lot of singers come up against. So you got this very famous vocal coach. You had an expectation when you went in there. You wanted to learn. You just wanted to learn. You were excited to learn, and that
Just one trick.
expectation was not met. So, that's how a lot of teaching out there is. And for me, that's incredibly ineffective because when we have a client coming to us, and this is my philosophy, if I have a client coming to me, it's my job to find out what their goals and expectations are and satisfy those, help them help them move along, learn something. That's really the job of the pedagogue. And he may I'm sure you were doing, like you said, within what you needed to do, you were doing it right. So yeah, why fix something that's not broken, right? But you wanted to learn more. Maybe he could have spent the session with you. Have you ever observed how you breathe, and how do you do this when you're doing
Yeah.
that? Could have been like bing, 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 and so much fun. And I had a young singer yesterday because the kids are dealing with corona as well, and they're having a hard time. Young kids are having a hard time. She was exposed to somebody that had corona. Now she can't go to school. I mean, literally the first 20 minutes of the session were her just, she was just depressed and needed to talk.
And you helped.
Like, oh, maybe I should talk to her parents about this. I'm not a therapist, but I just let her talk. And I said, you know what? Let's sing. We don't have to work on anything, forget goals, whatever. Let's just sing a couple songs that I know and that you do so well, and I bet you'll feel better. And she sang, and she started feeling better about life and her day. And then we worked on a couple little technical things on those to make it more efficient. And she left at the end of the session with a huge smile.
That's our job.
Right? And it's not my job to be a therapist, right? But I'm using music to help her feel better about herself, because I know she sings, and when she sings, she's happy, and that's why she loves it. Singing is therapeutic. So yeah, I could have just said, all right, well, call me back next week when you're not depressed. Can't do anything today.
Yeah, but I think one golden rule I learned in my education to become a vocal coach. I very often said in my classes, I said, but I don't know if they're happy, or I don't know what they want. And my teacher looked at me and she said, ask. And I was just like, why don't I ask? Why don't we ask? Why is it we think that we have to? So now I do what you say. I say, hi, my name is Dida, Robin. What do you expect? What would you like? This is what I can do. I go through the whole singing technique in 5 minutes. I go, I can give you this. What do you want?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I want that and that. And okay, let's go. So
It's important to guide them, and I think that's wonderful. The wonderful thing about this next generation of teachers that's being trained is the training of teachers has gotten so much better.